Look at that.
Are we back? We're
I
live?
have no idea if we're actually back or live.
We are live.
It could just be in
At
a
least
time
that's what
warp.
it says.
Yeah. So I guess let's look at the side of your head. I don't know. We'll figure it
I
out.
don't know. Well,
Technology.
I'll try to.
This is, you want to talk
We
about?
can scoot
so-
this here if you want.
Yeah.
You want to do that?
Sabrina, can you move that?
Oh,
You know,
we got our
I
help
can't
here. That's how
see this one
sophisticated
next
we
to
are.
I'll tell
We
you
got
either
our-
just like this. No, just the whole, yeah.
just slide it.
No, the other way. Like back this. Yeah. Now slide it.
Yeah.
Keep rotating.
Rotate.
Just your elbow. Yeah. There we go. Oh,
Good there?
I think we're good.
Okay.
We'll get in there.
All right. Well, we figured it out. Talking about diving into things, one of those important ones was the conversation about why I haven't bought the right cameras yet for this damn setup. Again, making the right
Do the
decision.
right price, not the.
Yeah, otherwise you look
Right
goofy.
price.
Like we're some low budget operation over here.
We kind of are. What is our budget?
I think like $300 a year.
Negative 500.
We should have like a swear jar or something for it, you know, run,
Yeah,
run,
we
up,
could.
run up some tab. But all right, so we're talking about do it right price, cheap paint, one of those, condo, the idea of buying things. I think the other perception there too is, you know, acquisition cost versus carrying cost. You know, there's this concern, well, I'm gonna wait for interest rates to come down. And we've hit home on this before, but this is really, really important because and I read an article on CNBC today about how mortgage rates hit the lowest they've been since May of 2023. All right.
Okay.
That was Friday and Monday. By yesterday, all of those gains were given back.
Yeah. So unless you lock that day, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, you had to be poised, ready, pull the trigger, which is not necessarily possible when you have pandemonium going on in the marketplace.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, a $450,000 loan, all right, not $450,000 purchase price, borrowing 450 grand.
Okay.
We'll take a stab at what the difference between 7 and 6.5 is.
On a monthly basis?
Yeah,
$34 a month.
I'm gonna guess it's like 100-ish. Yeah.
150
150.
Okay.
on 450,000.
Okay.
On 200,000,
More like that.
$34.
Wow.
It's not that like that part of it. To buy a house as a primary residence is a vastly different thing than buying a house as a fix and flip, where carrying costs come into it. But even then, like on a fix and flip, I've talking about buying real estate and things I wish I knew when I was 30 or coming into 30 was the perception and the concern about an interest rate. If you're buying that house to hold it for a longer term, you're never going to be in that mortgage for more than 6 or 7 years. I promise you, something's going to come up. You're going to sell that house. You're going to refinance.
Yeah.
It just happens.
You're gonna need to grab equity to do something.
Exactly. And it just, the idea, oh, well, I'm going to have this rate, this 2.9% rate for 30 years. Maybe you do, but you probably aren't going to. And like, oh, well, it's going to cost me these hundreds of thousands of dollars over the next 30 years. It's probably not going to.
Yeah.
Something's going to happen where you're in and out of that thing. And I've bought and sold houses where we've carried paper at 18% interest, and we still made money because we just budgeted that and kind of looked at it as a total acquisition cost, not the concern of carrying costs. I think everyone would agree you win on the buy, you don't win on the carrying cost.
Right.
If you're trying to win on the carrying cost, you're going to be in that cycle of the do it twice price.
Absolutely. That's.
And I know that you guys, Nick, your group there, you guys represent a couple of rehabbers and flippers, right?
Yep.
And they're looking at things, I'm going to guess, from what they buy that property for, what's the actual, the condensed carrying cost going to be,
Yep.
what do we got to put into it, and what do we got to get out of it, right?
And how much time?
How fast can we get this thing, do it right, get it on the market and sell it for the top dollar?
And that's a professional rehabber. That's not somebody
That's gonna live
buying
in
a house and putting a family in it.
Right. Yep.
So like, don't let the interest rate thing be a concern. I've had, like I said, I had interest rates on houses for fix and flips at 18%. I want to say my rate on my first house was maybe 7.5, 7.75,
Yeah.
somewhere around there. At one point, I bought a few other houses, other things I've learned, right?
Yep.
Never buy the biggest house on the block or the nicest house on the block.
The smallest one.
No, buy something in the middle.
In the middle? Okay.
The middle is
more marketable.
yeah, it's more marketable. There's
Yep.
more liquidity there. Like we see it all the time over,
Yep.
Over here on the Indiana side of thing where there's tons of new construction. Like you see a very specific dollar price point, usually when it has that near second comma in it, that seem to sit a little bit longer than anything in that 700 to 800 range.
True.
100%.
And we've talked about that before, like the illiquidity or the volatility at the higher price point, making sure that you have an exit strategy, always a good idea. Buying a house that you can realistically afford and make it really nice on the inside.
Yeah.
Right. Not over improving it, but like some comfort, creature habits. I don't know, like
Steam shower.
Heated floors.
Heated
in the bathrooms.
floors. Yeah.
It's little things like that. And I think that goes a long way for resale too.
That does.
Finish your garage floor.
Oh, that's
stuff
yep.
like that.
That's the kind of stuff that helps you sell it faster. You know what I mean? It gets more people in there, helps you sell it faster, and helps you stick out from everybody else.
How market so we just got this whole house generator. How
those are
like desirable? Does
those
that
are desirable?
it doesn't
Yes.
price them, but does it help a sale or something?
It helps the sale, yeah. It makes
Yeah.
your sale easier. It makes your house more desirable, and we're still seeing multiple offers out there and stuff like that. So
Are
it
we?
can help your price. As far as your list price, you're going to be the same around everybody else's. What I mean, square footage wise, depending on where your updates are. But that definitely helps the sale.
Good to know.
Yep.
Especially given the amount of severe weather here lately.
And like
Yeah.
bizarre, I mean, everyone always makes fun of Indiana. That's like the kickback and infrastructure. You guys don't have infrastructure. Actually, it's kind of true.
Yeah.
Like
It
we
is.
lose power a lot, relatively. I think.
Really?
I think.
Oh, over on that side of 41.
Yeah.
We
Hold on.
must have the good wires on
You
the
got
left
the new wires.
side. we tap into Illinois for that.
And it'll be like at weird times for like no storm. Just like all of a sudden, hey, no power.
As a listing agent, you love to see a house with a whole house generator.
Yeah.
Love it.
It's
Before you walk in the house, the first thing is you see that you're pretty solid on the house.
Well, yeah, because it actually might be a sign that they take care of stuff and like.
Yep, that one, two, okay, you're already starting your appointment off with I got a good marketable house here. You know what I mean? These, and then the second opinion is you got someone that cares about their stuff, they're taking care of their house,
Right.
which is good for buyers when they come in because they see that as well. So,
all right. So that's one of those little things, right? Things to consider before you're 30.
Yep.
Buying a house where if you don't have a whole house generator, where you work it in the budget where you can afford something like that, because maintenance cost, other problems, spoiled food, not having power for 2 days, all that stuff.
right price, not pay twice for it, right?
Exactly.
You lose 2 freezers worth of food, you can almost pay for that. Right?
Yeah, right.
Especially when you got those Wagyu.
Yeah.
What else can we talk about? I think another thing I heard from a sub 30-year-old the other day was this whole home buying process seems really intimidating. And I don't think that it really is. There's this huge barrier to have that conversation with the mortgage guy or that real estate agent.
Yep.
We don't bite.
No.
Right?
I think people think they're gonna get like sold. They've got that fear that like, oh, I'm gonna get roped in.
Yep. It's like anything, it's just that initial step, that nervousness, you know what I mean? What you hear from other people out there instead of actually just taking action yourself, going out and talking with somebody. Me and Tony, it's not the days where we can take your hand, put it on paper, have you sign something.
Hey, you fog up this mirror, you want to sign this?
Yeah.
I think
It really is like that's like just a nice like life lesson. It's never as bad as you think. Like your brain always plays out the worst case scenario. I think it's just part of being a human. You're like, oh, well, it's gonna be. It's never. Doesn't matter what the challenge is in your life. It's never as bad as you think it's gonna be.
I can test for me. I got clients that, Tony, I'm sure you can too. I got clients that we worked on for 2 years.
Yeah.
And they just called me periodically, and I'm actually doing a deal with one right now who took probably about a year and a half. But now they're ready. They understand. They learned kind of, you know what I mean,
Now that's
throughout the process of everything. So now they understand.
that's the biggest thing, like just having that initial conversation so you can get on the right path.
Yeah,
Because you just never know. I mean, I have the same exact name as my dad.
that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Well, put my credit, right? My first house I bought, the under, hey, why do you have an American Express card that was opened before you were born? Just like little things like that. I mean, credit is a very sloppy thing.
Yeah.
But it unfortunately has this very, very heavy weight in the mortgage process or the financing process for real estate. Budget things to look at, right? The other thing we always hear is, I'm just going to wait till I can send you 4 pay stubs with 40 hours on them because I wasn't working so much earlier in the year. The underwriter looks at your year-to-date pay every time. So, little things like that, just having that conversation, it's not that scary. We don't bite. I've watched Nick send, refer people over before. We have a conversation. Hey, you know what? Now probably isn't the right time for you. Let's get on the right track so that you can not buy a house and then have to sell it. And, the the do it twice price again.
Yeah, well, you got to learn. The only way to learn is to talk to professionals that are doing it. You know, I mean, get some good reputable people, user people who they connect with, and whether now is the right time for you. At least you're kind of learning what's going on. You're seeing what's out there, and then you can make a better decision. Moving forward. Now, that's the best thing, because you can get your first house, like you did at the right. I don't know what your process was like, but you probably knew some people, reputable, whatever, and you learned a little bit. Then you bought something that you said didn't overindulge you. You made a little money on it. You learned a lot. What I mean, and it sets you up for future success. But a lot of people, buying their first house, that's the biggest scare. So
I think that's the other thing that I would probably say my last tip of things to know or be aware of. I would say to not build your don't let your first house be a new construction house.
Okay.
You learn so much about what you like, what you don't like, and what you value in a house and what you don't value in a house. I mean, I get it. Inventory is what it is, but they're I have built my last house that I'm currently living in, but the builder was even you kind of had this weird idea about things hey, put 12 extra electrical outlets in here in the garage and and just little things like that you're not going to know, because you're going to be trying to build that house, and that builder's rep's going to be trying to slap you with all these upgrades that maybe don't necessarily make a lot of sense for you.
Yep.
That's my opinion on it. It's not for everybody, but
I've never built a house, but
I'll never do it again.
It seems daunting, even picking out just the handles on I'm just I do it now, and I know what I like.
Yeah,
the
price tag is typically never the end price that you pay for.
Oh yeah, that's
just their basic stuff.
That's when you go to Home Depot and you look at their granite, it's $19 a foot, and then you realize that's uncut, and then
pre-install.
Pre-install, and then if you want to
move it,
you want an inside 45 cut on that thing, that's going to be an extra $500.
Yeah.
But I think as far as making all those decisions too, if you are in a position where you are building a house, highly recommend an interior designer person.
Yeah,
my person charged $2,000 start to finish from
that's
before we dug a hole.
So you saved how much? Probably you probably don't even know. But
I saved getting divorced.
Yeah.
Is really what
so a lot of money.
Yeah, but I mean the other part of it was just having someone that, hey, you know what, that style or that idea is not timeless. I didn't want to build a house that was going to be the all white with the black windows and be cool for 4 years. I want to build something timeless, because I knew at some point I want to get out of it. I want to have appeal for it, right? So $2,000 it cost start to finish. We got all the floor colors, all the paint colors, tile, everything.
That's so worth it. She's probably hey, think about this, blah blah blah. You guys think about that?
Oh yeah, and she stayed on the builder, made sure, and then at the end of it, the best part was, I think you'd value this as a real estate agent. I would always probably encourage people, if you're going to sell your house, I have an entire binder of everything that we have, from SKU numbers to manufacturers for tile, paint, everything. And if I were those people, you buy a house and hey, what happens? You got an extra tile, we dropped something, broke a piece of tile. Yeah, trying to find and match that. I have an entire binder for it. So
that's pretty
cool. I'm the favorite seller at that point.
Yep.
Any other tips? I don't know.
That's amazing to think, because a lot of people wouldn't know that. I didn't know that an interior designer would only cost you, it's probably a scary
expensive
thing. You know what I mean? That's something that we're talking about. You're talking with somebody, you're talking to a professional, because you don't know. You think that because the building's typically 6 to 8 month process, depending, could be longer.
Oh yeah,
could be shorter, but most likely it's probably going to be longer.
It was probably 8.5, 9 months with us.
So
we were waiting on things, but
3/4 every year, and $2,000 for interior designer will help you, navigate the process.
I honestly did it on a budget with her though. I was like, hey, I got 3 days of time over this course where I'm going to pick out everything. She's like, you're crazy. I'm like, yeah, a little bit, but we're going to just knock it all out, because I don't want you to keep coming out here. I don't want to keep going out there.
The average consumer or whatever does not know what an interior designer costs.
They don't.
You see the HGTV shows and you see $1 million homes, and you're probably thinking, "Oh man, how much does she cost just to go out and do that?"
$10,000.
Yeah,
no.
And that's. I mean, she got me on the window treatments after, but it is what it is. I needed them. That's I guess my tips for
I think
people in that 30-year-old range.
Yep, you save a lot of headache, a lot of time, a lot of money just by spending that money right there.
Anything else? Anything else you got for these young bucks, these 1994s?
I don't know I just told them stretch. Just make sure you stretch.
Stretching is flexibility. Really goes.
Range of motion, man. Yep. Range of motion.
Being all bendy is a good one.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no doubt about that. All right, so don't be afraid to have the conversation. Don't be afraid to look at buying a place, don't worry about interest rates. They are what they are.
They're all
Um,
always
always refinance.
You have the opportunity to refinance. You don't like it, sell it.
I think the biggest thing we talked about with that one last note here, Tony, is the rates if they ever come down again, or to that where people think that it's probably impossible, but that 2-3%, even 4 or 5% save to what it is right now, what's going to happen to home prices?
Oh, I mean,
They're skyrocketing.
You
Some
have-
people that waited to buy until the home prices weren't so high, now they won't want to buy because the interest rates are
Well,
high.
and then the other piece is when you get into that 5.5 to 6% spot, that jump from that person that has a 3% interest rate with $60,000 of credit card debt at 28%, they're going to go, well, that doesn't hurt so much anymore either. So it'll bring a little supply, but now you have even more demand for move up houses and everything else.
Yeah.
It's the issue is supply at this point, right?
Yes.
There is an unbelievable amount of pent up demand.
Yeah.
So that like if you're able to get into the market, it's again buying at the right price, not worrying about the longer term carrying cost.
Absolutely.
You can
Like you
there's
said,
ways to
around-
trick it.
Yep.
And I had a conversation with the lady the other day. She's like, "Well, I want a 15-year." I was like, "I can get you the 30-year rate. It's a quarter different right now, right?" And like, just make the 15-year payment, and on the 30-year loan, and then your house will be paid off in 15 years and 8 months. Is 8 months of additional carrying costs going to really kill you? Probably not. But if rates normalize, refinance it into 15 and do it. And like, the whole date the rate and everything, like, screw that shit. Like, buy the house because you want to buy it at the right price.
Yeah.
If we have 4 or 5% more price increase, like roll that over year on 400,000.
Also, paying off your house might be a bad idea.
I agree that I'm 100% on that too. Utilize that. Like, what else can you get for a return, right?
Exactly.
We talk about whole value or cash value life insurance. A lot of that's tied to, a lot of them have a floor and a ceiling, but do some of them have a guaranteed rate of return?
Mm-hmm. They all do.
And what, I guess, you're in the ballpark, like a
3, 2.5, 3, 3.5. It just depends on when you got in or whatever. But it's just, I've had this argument with people of a certain age that always believe, like, you work hard, you get a pension, you pay off your house. What if that wasn't smart? Like the back to the blanket statement again. Like, maybe that's smart for some people, but maybe it's not for some people.
I love those the fake Dave Ramsey.
Yeah.
Like your 401k can't go 0 to 60 in 2.9 miles an hour or 2.9 seconds. Buy a Corvette.
Right.
live a little bit. I think it's like, I don't know, any other tips, tricks, Nick? You are in that demographic where you have not only tons of professional experience with younger people and older people, but you also have friends and the social life in there. Is there anything else we're missing or anything else you want to tell someone?
No, I think we hit it. I'm in a unique spot where I do have tons of experience. I did start this real estate game young, so 7 years of experience. I work with people like you guys who have a lot of experience in order to help that. That was always my thing when I got in. So what you guys talk about hits home to me because you want to talk to people with experience about doing what you're looking to do. They can help you so you can, expedite the process and make it easier. So talk to one of us, you know what I mean? Don't be scared about the rate. Don't be scared about the market. Don't listen to the news. If you're trying to buy a house, you know what I mean? Start that process. Maybe you might find out it's not the right time for you, depending on what you got going on in your life. Maybe you might find out, it is the right time for you, but get the house. Don't worry about the rate. Like I said, there's ways around it. I tell people all the time, I'm going to wait till the rates come down. Okay, well, then you're going to pay this much higher for your price of your house. Now you got to sell it for that much more to make any kind of money. So you're paying, you can afford more and your payment, whatever might be, oh my God, I can buy this house now for this payment, but it might not make sense at the end of the day if you look at it that way.
I think I know kind of drawing out longer because there are technical difficulties, but the whole rate thing is a really interesting one. I had a conversation last week with a client who's self-employed, doesn't qualify for traditional financing because she writes off all of her income. I get it. It's the goal, right? Schedule C sole proprietor, your federal income tax liability on your net income there is about 13.5% between both halves of self-employment tax, all of that, right? Like, what are you worried about an 8% interest rate if you're paying $0 in taxes?
Yeah, good point.
Would you rather pay 13.5% in taxes and then pay 7-8% there? Like, this is the stuff that having a conversation with someone in a group of people or a team of people that have experience in all walks of life.
Yeah.
Right.
It can help your perspective. You get the wrong perspective on something like that. And you're like, and then someone's like, says something like, hey, well, this is your real situation. Why would we be worried about that? And they're like, oh, I don't know, because Someone told me.
Here's the opposite side of that, and I want this to be very clear because this happened the other day. Customer, Schedule C, sole proprietor. He's a what are a shrink? I don't know, Dr. Milfy, a shrink. I don't know whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
Psychologist, right? Someone told him 2 years ago what he needed to do to file his taxes to qualify for the house he wanted to buy. All right. He incurred from 2022, 2023 combined IRS tax liability, not even state tax liability, $92,000 in income tax liability.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, guess what?
You still didn't qualify.
He doesn't qualify because he didn't pay the damn taxes.
Oh, you didn't pay him?
He didn't pay him. Didn't get on a payment plan. So now he's accruing IRS penalty rate.
Yeah, they don't mess around either.
And once you hit 100,000 owed to the IRS, it's a whole different bracket for repayment and terms and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So this is why we talk about having that conversation with professional. Again, the connection, right? Hey, who can I talk to, right? Adam, you own a business.
Yeah.
I own a business. Nick, you own a business. We can have the conversation with self-employed people. We can have the conversation with W-2 people. Like,
Here's the bottom line. Don't mess with the IRS.
the IRS.
Don't.
There's
There's two people you don't mess with. A woman scorn.
Exactly. Anything else? We kind of went off on a little tangent there.
No, I think that's it.
So
we'll see.
don't pay twice. Call Nick.
Call Nick, call Tony, call Adam. See if the Bears do anything good this year.
We do need to watch Hard Knocks.
Yep.
So Tuesday nights, block that on your schedules if you're under 30 or if you're over 30. If you are in the Beecher School District,
Yes, we are having a backpack giveaway tomorrow. We're going to be there tomorrow.
Beecher High School.
Beecher High School, 5:30. We're starting having their freshman orientation. We are a backpack giveaway with a bunch of school supplies. So that's where we'll be.
And we got Beecher basketball. They're still hot.
Beecher basketball, yeah. We did a little highlight video on them that we've been posting out there. It's got some good traction. Those guys had their best season. So I wanted to highlight them, highlight the coach of the year, Tyler Scheibman for the Beecher Bobcats. So
Yeah.
I love that.
cool small town story. That was a great story. So.
Supporting your alumni
I'm
there.
out of there. Yep.
All right, cool. So we got that. I believe you have another big event coming up. We'll talk about the next time you're on.
Yep.
In Grant Park,
Yep.
Illinois, not Grant Park
Got a
downtown.
little concert going on.
Yeah.
Today, so.
That's cool.
Nickapalooza. It's a
There
Lollapalooza.
you go.
All right, we got that. We're supposed to tease something about maybe watch like the Hard Knocks later on, and maybe I don't know Nick's in there. or something.
Maybe we'll get on there. I don't know.
Yeah,
you gotta stay tuned. We'll see what
That'd be
happens.
cool.
We can pump the numbers up on the show. So
Hey, every time you're on here, something crazy happens,
Yeah.
right? So
That's true.
let's see if we get you on Hard Knocks. I'd love to see if you can
That'd be
beat
cool.
Leave Scraber, the
so everybody
narrator.
keep watching Tuesday. What was it 8 o'clock our time?
8?
Tuesdays,
Yeah.
yep, 8 o'clock.
And Nick, how can we get in touch with you?
630-284-9624. You can always Facebook, find us on there as well.
All right. Well, we'll hope to see you in Beecher tomorrow.
Yep.
Getting backpacks. Otherwise, we'll see you in 3 weeks again on the show. Call Nick if you got any real estate questions. You call me if you got mortgage questions. Adam, any type of insurance, financial planning stuff, they got you covered, right?
All right.
Peace out.
Out.